All right, so guys, these are a couple that I missed. But I heard that one of these is golden. I heard that this Chris Paul one is absolutely golden, where he just straight up calls out the team. And it's a little rare for any post game interviews to get this amount of views. Honestly, 24,000 from Wemby and 14 from Chris. So lots of people tuned in after that to see what they had to say. So what we're going to do is we'll look at Chris Paul, see what he has to say, and then we'll talk about today's sponsor. Even though I'm at my parents right now, we still have a little sponsorship here. So we'll talk about BetUS. Shout out to BetUS, and then we'll talk about Victor Wembanyama's post game. So yeah, let's start it off. You gotta say, Chris.
That's what he does for them.
And by the way, this is a little context. If you guys didn't watch on Christmas, I'm sure all of us watched on Christmas. Um, they basically did some young men stuff, right? They made a lot of young mistakes down the stretch in which they should have won it. It felt like we controlled the game for the most of it, but yeah, we just slipped up.
Victor had one of the greatest Christmas Day games ever. Does that kind of underscore how he's ready for the stage?
Yeah, we expect that from him. We do this little, I don't know what to call it. What we do? We do like a little trivia thing before every game with 60 on the clock. And today's trivia was the top 10 points on Christmas Day. You know what I mean? So we all try to guess. And it's crazy. I think T-Mac was on there like 4 times. Luka was first, 50 points. And it's crazy. That's what I said to Vic. I think Vic had 42. So now he on that list. You know what I mean? So like us that see
They
him
did.
day in and day out, we not.
They did the trivia, and then Vic was like, "All right, I'll do what I got to do." That's crazy, dude. He was so close. I was hoping that he'll break that 45. Oh, that would have been so good.
Not surprised by that. I think for us, the next step is winning those games. That's all it is about. It's about winning those games.
Coach said before the game.
Man, bro, I think you should still come through for a game in San Antonio before you move to Japan. I want to go to the new stadium, but I know it's not going to be done by that time, probably. So I could run through. I think I can come through. I just have to save up for it.
Maybe in the first few minutes there'd be some nervous energy. Not a regular game. It's Christmas at the Garden. Did you sense any of that? I assume you don't feel that stuff.
Actually, I didn't. And that's surprising. You know what I mean? Like seriously, I think more than anything, our guys was excited. And once you get past it, they got off to a nice start on us, but we started to play our game, and I think Vic helped with that. What I mean? Some of those timely shots that he hits early in the game, it helps everybody settle in.
When he's out of the game, besides the fact that it's a good player off the floor, like what's most different about you guys when he's not in there versus when he is?
It's a lot. Changes your defense, changes your offense. And you could say that about any great player. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure what the splits are on and off the court, but I'm sure it's pretty good.
Stephon?
Let me see your splits. I can go back with you. Sorry.
A little bit in the second half. Is he okay?
I have no clue. What happened? Did something?
Just didn't play as much.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I don't pay attention to none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, it's whatever we got to do to win. Trey was hooping, Trey Jones was hooping, and that's the benefit of having a team like we have. Like we have so much depth, and I think, and I know y'all gotta do y'all job and analyze whether somebody hurt or not. But I think for us, the only thing that matters right now is trying to figure out how we win these close games. Yeah.
How do you feel like, I guess, the younger guys are sort of developing?
That is a privilege as a not just a Spurs fan, but like as a player. I think that's a privilege to not have to worry about those things. But some teams, the rotations are so bad, or like the way that the front office constructs teams is so bad to the point where you are wondering, probably as a player, like, why am I not playing with this person? Because I gel with them more. Why am I not playing? The fact that everyone personality gels with each other as well, and they can just solely focus on winning games, I think it is a privilege. I don't think I know that seems silly to say, but I don't think every player, every team is that simple. Like there's players that's worried about so much, right? I remember Victor talking about when he went to France, um, for I'm just gonna say Mets for short. But he was talking about how he had to worry about coaching, he had to worry about conditioning with all of his players, he had to worry about who's gonna fit with who. I think that's nice that you don't have to worry about that, even if you're a superstar in San Antonio, where somebody like LeBron, he doesn't really have that privilege, right? He doesn't. The original privilege is we got Wemby. That is true too.
On that front, you played 2 games in a row in really hostile environment, tight game.
Guys are great, and I think we're just gonna get to that point where all that young guy stuff like got to go out the window. We pros just like everybody else, and there's a grit and a will that you got to have in this league in order to figure out ways to win those games. And especially on the road, when we're the only ones that's cheering for us or whatnot, and that builds character. So we got 2 games I think left on this trip, and we got to make sure we approach them with the proper fear.
Thank you, sir.
Cool. And that ended with our this past game we won it. Oh, the Timberwolves, man, that's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But cool, that actually was good. So yeah, there's the quote right there. I know people mentioned that one to me. That's what I heard about, that this young guy stuff got to go out the window. And I'll be honest and transparent in saying it did bother me after a while last season, where people continue to say it, or our players continue to say it, like, hey, we're still a young team. Hey, we're still a young team. It's like, yeah, we know you are, but let us say that. I don't want the players saying that all the time. All right, that's cool. All right, so we'll look at what Wemby has to say. But before we do that, once again, big shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this segment. And, we talked about drama when it came to the De'Aaron Fox situation and the privilege that it is for players to, on the Spurs, to not have to worry about too much, extracurricular activities. But with that being said, once again, this isn't funny, but it's nice being a fan right now, because Kawhi Leonard is officially on BetUS as a bet on whether or not he's going to announce his retirement. Crazy. Will Fun Guy retire? Exactly, July. So if you guys are interested in that at all, head on over to BetUS. Use promo code YouTube150. You receive 150% bonus on your first deposit, 125% bonus on your second and third deposits, up to $2,000. Money line is $500. And basically, if you put in 100, that's $500 you can win right there if the answer is yes. So go check that out. Super easy. Just jump on there, go to Moneyline, but use promo code YouTube150. Okay, that's how you get all the benefits. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into what Wemby had to say. Let's see here. I think it's this one. Got 24,000 views.
Does that take away from it?
Yeah, I don't really. It's not my first thought at all. I didn't know. I don't even know the history by heart of the best games, Christmas games in history. For sure, it's. I'm thinking about the game right now, and just thinking we're close, but we lack some attributes at times, and but we were right there. It was a really disputed game.
You had a tough call go against you because you knocked down that 3. took away because of the foul off the ball. Did that stop some of the momentum that you guys have been building?
I don't think so, but rewatching the game, it might look different. I don't know. But it's
Okay, I'm just gonna put my 2 cents in. Obviously, I'm not an NBA coach, right? Never will be one. Uh, no desire to be one. Um, what I've seen, I think a lot of times, which is it's fine for the most part, but I do think that a lot of times Wemby, I'm not blaming him for that loss against New York Knicks, right? He was like absolutely incredible. But with him being, the leader, and with him having the most talent on the team, and oftentimes the most talent on the court in general, I would have preferred him to be able to, in certain situations, in key moments, to find ways to get closer to the rim just to improve the shot quality a little bit. I think that it takes out a team's heart when you can do that, right? I would assume that teams. I mean, Vic is I think he's a good 3-point shooter, but he's no Steph Curry, right? I don't know if Victor Wembanyama like takes your heart out in that regard, right? And I would like for it to be like a dang, there's nothing we could do about that. You know what I mean? And that would be him around the rim. It's like, it's nothing we can do. Like, I don't know, how do I guard this, right? But him taking threes, I think that a lot of teams would probably live with that, with him taking deep threes, even though he's like really good. Don't get me wrong, he's really good. I just don't think he's at that point yet. So I would rather. I don't know. That might sound silly, but those are my thoughts. There's certain times where I'm like, we didn't need a 3 right there. Like you didn't have to go for a 3 in that situation.
I don't think it was a game about momentum. I think it was a game about being dogs when the clock starts going down. Under 5 minutes, under 3 minutes.
Well, that'd be part of being nasty, right? Punch him in the chest. Find ways to get in that paint. Destroy him. Nothing they can do about it. Dunked on your head, there's nothing you can do about it. 3-pointers, that feels like settling sometimes. I agree. It was nice to see him roll to the basket towards the end of the game today. Yeah.
We let them get some rebounds on us. We let them move us a little too much. So this is more what it was about. They didn't win against us because they played better basketball. Not at all.
They got to those 50-50 balls at the.
I kind of liked that. That was kind of nasty. They didn't win because they played better basketball. That's kind of nasty, y'all. It's true though. It's actually genuinely true. I don't think that that's cocky or anything. I think that that's just kind of nasty. Like, he's just being brutally honest. I thought that too. I didn't watch that game and was like, oh, well, the Knicks was just a better team today. Like, I did not feel that way at all. Does he need another high-scoring threat besides him so he works inside more often than outside? I don't think getting an extra scoring threat will cause Wemby to not prefer outside. I do think that Wemby, with a complete offseason and building up his strength, his core strength and everything, he'll want to utilize that more in games. Or will he still play the same? Yeah, I think he still plays the same, even if you get a scoring threat. Like, there's nothing right now on this team where I'm like, oh, that's why Wemby is at the perimeter. Like, there's times where he has a wide open lane to the basket and he won't take it. Or he has a obvious mismatch and he's like, nah, step back. Which is fun as heck to watch, right? Like, today versus the Nets, I mean, that step, I think it was a step back on 2 people. Oh my God. Yeah, it's game changing. He just got to add a little bit. It's all right. Still take like 6 threes, take 5 threes or whatever. That's cool. But he'll have games where he put up 15 of them and a few of them in crunch time, and we didn't necessarily need you to attempt those.
And as you said, rebounds, second chance points,
Yes.
extra possessions. Was there something you guys could have done differently, or was that just maybe some of it was just bad breaks?
I don't know if we could have done it differently because I don't know, you know, tonight just proved, you know, we're not ready yet. We're right there, as I said.
You hear that, guys? I'm okay with us not being in the playoffs. I think that the Spurs are much better than they were last year. I think they should fight, keep on fighting. If we make the playoffs, that's cool. But we're not there yet. And not just with the team right now, mentally. I don't think talent-wise we're there. I know Chris Paul brought up how we have a lot of depth, which we do, more depth than last season, but we could have way more depth. It could get really nasty in another season.
But it's for me, I think it's just a flip. We got to switch, and because we.
Oh gosh, we were 4-26 by this time last year. Yeah, I remember, man. Every night it felt like I was fighting with Spurs fans not to trade Sohan.
I'm sure we're gonna see that it works, and we're gonna get, you know, addicted to playing this way. This is how I see it, because it's high efforts to play like that, but it's also high rewards. So this is I'm sure we're gonna find out about this soon.
You said that your mind right now is in the game itself, but were you able to, I guess, feel the specialness of playing on Christmas that players who've experienced it talk about?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. You know, the mood, the music, everything. I felt it.
You've had so many big moments in your first 2 years, whether
I don't think Brian. I think Brian Wright is doing enough right now that shows Wemby that we want to win and we want to improve. Wemby's in his second year. He hasn't even got through half of his second year yet, really. No, dude, that's a panic move. I don't think Brian Wright needs to do anything to make a statement. Going after Fox would be great. Like, I'm on board for that, but I don't necessarily think it has to be like for the sake of Wemby. Like, I think that's a panic move. Don't worry about it. Wemby isn't complaining about the franchise. He's fine with the franchise. He's fine with the players on his team right now. I think it really does just come down to keep doing what we're doing. They've been very adamant in talking to him about the development. You know, he was the one that pushed for Castle as well. Like, they came to him and said, "Hey, do you like Castle?" He watched him. He's like, "Yes, I really like this guy." So they got him for him. Like, he's fully involved in, you know, some of the decision making from the front office. So I wouldn't really worry about, you know, oh yes, make a move, you know, for just for Wemby. Like, I don't think you have to do that. It also helps that we have a history, right? Like, we have a history of being one of the greatest franchises in the NBA. Like, we have that history now. It's set in stone. It's not like how it was where when Popovich first came in and you got so much to prove. Wemby is already bought in. You know, we just got to keep doing what we're doing. Yeah, don't make no crazy trade. Don't make no, yeah.
Whether it was your first game or even last summer in Paris with the Olympics and the near one in the gold medal game, where does a moment like this rank for you in your early career?
Definitely lower than all the finals and high stakes games, but still, you know, still a good one, definitely. So definitely top 90% probably. I mean, top 10%.
How tough is it in the last 30 seconds of the game? I'm sure every player thinks if we get the ball, we're going to tie this game.
Yeah.
The ball just came off the rim and didn't come anywhere near you. It seemed like, how tough is that to just, you know, people think you're going to get the rebound and if they miss, you're the tall guy out there and the ball was nowhere near you, it looked like.
Sure, it sure feels like you can't do nothing about it, but you have to, you know.
What are these questions? I don't know if I want to finish this.
this is why you have to do everything you can before when you can when you have the ball when we have the ball in our hands, and we have to do everything we can to get it back when we don't have it. But we're not gonna win 100% of games, even if we play the right way. But it's we're still gonna try with as many as we can, and this is the way to do it.
Do you feel players avoiding you on defense when they sense that you're around, and maybe you're not right in front of them, but you're somewhere near them? You see them hesitating a little bit and swinging.
Yeah, of course he does.
Use that to your advantage to kind of fake guys out, because I feel like
he does it all the time. He always fakes guys. Is this a Spurs journalist, or is it because it's Christmas that we got some randos? Is that what's going on? That might be what's going on. No offense. But yeah, he does that all the time. He fakes people out all the time. Yeah? Okay.
On the Brunson layup that you blocked,
Yeah.
you didn't think that you could have
No.
gotten to.
No. It's yeah. I mean, it's a game of anticipation and trying to read the opponent. Josh Hart got a good one on me earlier. So it's a very interesting part of the game, because it's I get many chances to to block guys, but these guys don't get many chances to to try to make a layup against me. So it's fun.
What do you think of Bridges' game, and was it just tough to find an answer for a guy that hot?
Mm-hmm.
We desperately need a small forward. They asked about Bridges. We desperately need a small forward. Right. Yeah, that's my answer to that. That's why we couldn't guard him. Zell was getting cooked by him, by the way.
Yeah, this is part of the.
I didn't even do that. Crap, what just happened?
The reason we have to do everything we can.
Gotcha.
When we can, because I mean there are definitely some shots where we could have guarded them better, of course, but there are some others that it's yeah, I mean it wasn't like great basketball. It was really tough shots, but it's yeah, sometimes it's hard to deal with.
It's a Christmas game. How are you guys feeling about the chemistry between you and CP3, and then we can see that you guys have some two-man play. How are you feeling so far in the season?
I'm gonna be honest, this is like, I'm usually not bored by these, but is there any reason to continue this one, or should we just end it?
That you guys having that kind of chemistry.
Oops, sorry.
Feeling really good, adapting
Yeah, I
to
felt like
the constant communication, to feed is really beneficial. We can see.
Take away from that, like Chris and Barnes, like that, especially in a big event like Christmas.
What young players take away?
Yeah.
So really some intelligence, of the game, and
Sur le début de saison, ta progression est phénoménale par rapport.
this is in French.
vraiment c'est que ça approche aussi de déposer.
Ton maillot qui vient te voir.
Donc c'est.
All right, there we go. That was it. That was boring. That was boring. That was terrible. Anyways, we're getting braided Wemby All-Star. That would be cool. Anyways, that was cool. That was nice. I loved what Chris Paul had to say. He just basically called out the team, right? And Wemby did as well. But I do like the fact that Chris Paul just called out our team. And said, hey, you can't young guy stuff gotta end. I like that. Mention X, Wano, Bassy, too much small ball. How about the Nets game? Maybe a little bit. All right, ending segment. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this segment.